How we doing today? Saturday, our normal time here, Final Cut TV. And we already have a bunch of thumbs up, which is fantastic. A lot of people watching already. A lot of people want to talk. Listen, I've been, as we all probably have seen, let's do our first good morning from Nobody over on the X platform. Oh no, the lawn has turned white. It most certainly has. We're getting some snow this morning. Fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got a lot of people watching already. On the three platforms, we're on YouTube, Facebook Live, and the X platform, which I've been broadcasting on for years and years and years. I did my original broadcast on there when it was Periscope years ago. It's one of the places I used to broadcast, and I've never stopped. I never stopped. So we're going to answer some questions that we had from last show because people asked me some questions, and I wrote them down. And I went to the source and found out the answers to their questions. I have good sources. I have some good sources. I'm not revealing any secrets. I would never do that. I'm allowed to say what I have to say. We'll go over those two specific questions a little bit later. The brass monkey is on the porch this morning. Cold. It is very cold. Well, you know what? It's not that cold here. It's in the low 30s, but it is absolutely snowing. It is absolutely snowing. We only been on for like a couple minutes, and we already got like 7 or 8 thumbs, good old thumbs up. That's fantastic. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button too when you are on the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. All these things help things run smoothly. Look at another one. So let's ease into the big subject matter. I'm looking at going back to NAB. I did not go last year. It really depends on a couple of things. But last night I had a dream. I'm like about going to NAB, and I'm saying, I got to plan this, and I got to plan that, and I got to plan this, and I got to plan that. And I said, wow, I don't want to be anxious about going to NAB if I go. I've got a hotel reserved. I'm not going to reserve the airline yet. I'm going to wait a little bit. And you can always cancel. So I did last year. I had it reserved last year. Hello from Denmark. I have got verification that I can get this subscription for the equivalent of €3 per month as a teacher here in Europe. Might be tempted to try it out. I have Final Cut Pro already. So if you don't, this is what we're going to discuss today. There's 5 to 6 million Final Cut Pro users, and every one of them has an opinion about the standalone version of Final Cut versus the subscription version of Final Cut. Everybody's got opinions. There's room for everybody's opinion. It isn't like there's only room for one side, because there's not. Now, let's just ease into it a little bit here. Before this was announced, I was adamantly against any kind of subscription for Final Cut Pro. Now that I've had a few days, got some more information and stuff, I'm like in the middle. I'm in the middle. I could go one way or I could go the other way. I still would prefer it not be a subscription. You might need a prescription for the subscription. Hello from Quebec. I can't pronounce your city's name. Beauharnois. Beauharnois? Is that how you say it? It does help that the subscription is for a suite. So listen, I know, look at the graphic that I have up there. Look at this graphic. Now, let me just pull this up. So this graphic, look at the price. Look at the price over here first. $299 for 15 years. The subscription price is $1,935 for 15 years. So that's one downside to the subscription and one benefit to the standalone. There's a dramatic difference in price. Now, we've been lucky that we've got 15 years for $299. That's sheer luck, for sure. Oh, you know what? I have to ask that specific thing. So let me go over this. There's two parts of that question I know. Does the subscription get you Final Cut Pro and Final Cut for iPad? Yes. It gets you Final Cut Pro on the Mac, Final Cut Pro on the iPad. It gets you Logic Pro on the Mac and Logic Pro on the iPad for that one subscription price. So those are kind of compelling because the iPad subscription was $4.99 a month and Logic Pro was $4.99 a month, which if you got those two for the iPad, if you got those two and you subscribe to Creator Studio for a year, it's break even. It's the same price, but you get a lot more. You get a lot more. So this is a good point. I'm willing to pay for the Creator Studio continually once Apple improves it and grants us features we need. Good point. But the thing is, you could subscribe either for a year or 1 month. You get 30 days. You get a 30-day free trial. Try it out. See if you like it. But we still need answers on the summit. Yeah, we're not going to get answers on the summit until this launch happens. Once this launch happens on the 28th of January, at some point after that, we'll get information on the summit. Now, here's the thing. Initially, I thought we were going to have the summit in March. That was back in November. I said, well, March is a good month. It could be March before NAB. Well, now that but I thought it was going to be Final Cut Pro 12 at the summit. Released Final Cut Pro 12. They preempted. They came out in January, so 12's off the table for the summit. Now, 12.1 with a new feature or two could be the summit. And if that's the case, it's probably going to be April, May, even into June. I no longer think it's going to be March because they already released Final Cut Pro 12. Best case scenario would be that the subscription is for things you would have to subscribe to now anyway, like when you can ask ChatGPT more questions with the subscription as an example. Yeah, there's a couple of things. So here's the deal. The standalone version of Final Cut Pro and the subscription Apple Creator Summit, Apple Creator Studio version of Final Cut Pro are exactly the same. Feature for feature, 100% feature parity. There's no difference between this one and that one. You can exchange libraries from here and take them over to here and open them up in either version and work with them. There's no issues. They're 100% compatible. That's one good thing. Subscription model from the best to the worst, I classify them as follows: Apple best, Avid middle, Adobe worst. Well, Adobe's worst because people have told me that it's so difficult to get out of a subscription. They do all kinds of tricks, and they want to charge you extra money if you want to get out early. With Apple, you just pick up your phone, go to subscriptions, and say unsubscribe. It's as simple as that. If you're not sure about the if the Apple Creator Studio is for you, and that version of Final Cut Pro, you got 30 days to try it out. You probably have to check off a box to subscribe, but you have 30 days you can cancel and not be charged. So if you pay by the year, it's like a little over $10 a month. 30 cents a day. 30 cents a day. Now, if you use Final Cut Pro a lot, if you don't use Final Cut Pro a lot, that 30 cents a day doesn't really mean anything. Perhaps something will finally be added to Final Cut for AI image and video creation, and this will probably only be available to monthly subscribers. Monthly or yearly. Monthly, it's $12.99. Yearly, it's like $10. A little over $10. I've had an Adobe subscription because of a client, and I couldn't cancel because they locked me in a one-year contract. I had to pay before cancellation. Right. So Adobe's notorious for that. People that have had it and tried to get out of their subscription, we're going to charge you $200, $300 for early cancellation. You kind of got to cancel like within that 24-hour period right away. You got to be right on top of that cancellation. If you go over, you're going to be in trouble. If you try to cancel a week ahead of time, you could get charged. Adobe's the worst. Adobe is absolutely the worst. The rest of them, Apple's the easiest. Apple's the easiest. So I'm not saying I'm 100% satisfied with the subscription yet. And we still have Final Cut Pro, standalone. You can still buy it, standalone, if that's what you want. And here's what, as far as I can tell, at this point, there's going to be feature parity between standalone and Apple Creator Studio version. Feature parity, not bonus content parity. This version is going to have bonus content, premium content, they call it. Premium content. It's going to have some fancier titles. You're going to have access to AI and stuff like that. Chat GPT kind of things, not AI features. AI features are feature for both, because that's built into the device. That's not, you don't have to go connect to the internet for that. I am actually very excited about the Final Cut Pro future now and don't mind the optional subscription at all. Maybe I will try to make a YouTube channel with tutorials myself now. I'm really motivated for it. That would be fine. That would be absolutely fine. What makes me anti-subscription is not if your apps stop be updated, but apps stop working so you become hostage in a subscription model, if you understand me. Yes, I do, but there's a couple of things. If you have the standalone version, that continues to work. That's going to continue to be updated. Okay? They're not going to update it for 6 months and then say, oh, you have to subscribe now. And in the future, maybe all software is subscription. People are worried about, oh, but it's okay, it's working now, but in the future. I'm not worried about the future at this point. I'm worried about right now. Right now, we have a standalone version of Final Cut Pro. You can still buy it, but most of us already have a standalone version. So if you want to try it through subscription, you got 30 days. You can try it out month by month. No problem signing up. No problem canceling. No problem canceling. If you're a student, it's a complete good deal. I think it's $2.99 a month for a student, or $29 for the year if you're a student. College student, not high school student. Or a teacher. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer, because here's the thing with me. I'm not going to jump in and buy it. Subscribe to it. I'm going to try it out for 30 days, see what the premium content is, and see if the premium content is worth it to me. And since I'm there, I'll try it out on the iPad. I haven't rented it on the iPad. I never even did a trial of Final Cut Junior on the iPad. I just wasn't interested. I got it on the Mac. I don't need it on the iPad. But once I do the trial subscription, of course I'm going to try it out. Logic, no, I'm not going to try that on the iPad. There's nothing I want to do in Logic on an iPad versus doing it on my Macintosh. No, there's no way. Okay, here we go. More comments, of course. If Final Cut offers more creative extras through AI and other features in exchange for monthly or annual payments, it would be 100% worth it to me and definitely better than cheaper than Adobe. Yes. Now here's what's happening. So Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Compressor, and Motion are all paid pro apps. You can buy them standalone, or they all come in this subscription. Okay. Pages, Keynote, Numbers, and there's your one more? I don't remember, but Pages, Pixelmator Pro. Pages, Keynote, and Numbers are still free. But, once again, the subscription version of those are going to have premium templates. They're going to have extra content. Not features. Features, they should be parodied between the two versions. At least Final Cut is. I didn't ask about Pages and stuff. But they're going to have premium templates, premium titles with the subscription version. So I like Keynote a lot. I use Numbers a lot. I don't use Pages at all. And I use Pixelmator Pro all the time. I use that all the time. Can we still buy Motion and Compressor as standalone apps? As far as I know, yes. Let's go find out here. But as far as I know, let's go to the App Store. I'm pretty sure you can. Let's see. Motion. I'm pretty sure you can. Yes. Both Motion and, let me just pull that up there. Both Motion and Compressor and Final Cut, and I know Logic is as well, are available in the App Store. So you can buy them standalone still. That's what I thought. I thought you could. So Motion's $50, $49, Compressor's $49, Final Cut Pro's $299. Yeah. So that's cool. They knew that there would be an uproar if they just dropped the subscription and made everybody subscribe to get Final Cut Pro 12. They know that. We've told them plenty of time. Can we expect any new feature updates at the upcoming summit? My opinion is yes. There's really no reason to do there is a reason to do a summit if there's something. We don't know. But we don't know for sure, but I'm thinking you do a summit because you're going to introduce a new version of Final Cut Pro. Now, since they just introduced a version of Final Cut Pro, January the 28th is coming out, I thought they were going to do Final Cut Pro 12 at the summit, maybe in March or beginning of April. Well, since Final Cut Pro 12 is coming out on January 28th, that's off the table. I don't expect the summit to be in March. I would be surprised if it's even in April. It could be at the end of April, beginning of May, or it could be at the end of May at this point. And at that point, they could have another feature update to Final Cut Pro, more content, something. Or here's what they've done in the past as well. They've shown us a future version of Final Cut Pro, okay, that's coming out later this year. They've done that once or twice. They showed us a future version of Final Cut Pro that's coming out later. So at the summit, they could say, hey, this is a future version of Final Cut Pro 12 that's coming out later this year, and show us some neat, cool features that have been added, okay? They've done that at least twice, okay? They've showed us a version that's not out, coming out later this year, but we can talk about it. We can talk about it on social media as much as we want. They've never restricted at least not since the first one, they've never restricted our ability to talk about what they show us. So perhaps, let's just say Final Cut Pro 12 comes out January the 28th. There's a Final Cut Pro track at NAB, but there always has been. This is a special track, I think. It seems like it's more concentrated, probably emphasizing the new Final Apple Creator Studio version of some of their, but it's probably going to be Final Cut Pro. I mean, they're not going to do Pages tutorials. I doubt it very much. I mean, they might just mention them, but I think so. I mean, I think that we can expect something new at the Creative Summit, especially the later it is. If it's listen, the spaces are this. I don't think it's going to be in March. I think we don't have enough time. 60 days, February. It wouldn't even be 45 days. People need more time than that to prepare. I think after it launches on the 28th, we'll hear something about the Creative Summit beginning of February or whatever, and they're going to need 60 to 90 days out from that because people have to make arrangements. They can't say, oh, we're going to do it March the 10th. That gives you 5 or 6 weeks to get ready. No, that's not going to work. Okay to pay one day, but you'll have to work on the updates. More updates, yes. So here's one of the things that has happened. They've opened up a new revenue stream, some of which goes to Final Cut Pro. Not all of it. So let's just say you subscribe by the year, so $10 a month. Final Cut Pro probably gets a good chunk of that, but you also have Logic Pro, you have Final Cut for the iPad, you have Logic Pro for the Mac, you have Compressor, you have Motion, you have Pages, you have Keynote, you have Numbers, and you have Pixelmator Pro. They're all going to get some of that $10. It's not all going to the Final Cut Pro team and development. I presume a good chunk of it is. I mean, most of us are interested in Final Cut Pro. You know, and that's the whole idea. So I'm kind of, at the beginning I was very anti-subscription. I think everybody knows that. I'm not interested, but I do have some subscriptions. Ecamm Live, for example. Now that I've got more information, and now that they're not taking the standalone version of Final Cut and stripping features out of it, so no, you got to subscribe in order to get these features. Premium content, yes. Premium titles, yes. Some templates, whatever else they have, yes. Not features. Feature parity between the two versions. That makes me feel better. That's one of the things that makes me feel better. So, I'm in the middle still. I used to be anti-subscription. Now I'm in the middle because I've learned more. And when you think, if you use Final Cut Pro, I use Final Cut Pro almost every day. I'm always editing something. So that's 30-some cents a day for the subscription version. And on top of that, I get the iPad version. I get Logic Pro on the iPad. I get Pixelmator Pro. Is that on the iPad? Now, not that I don't do any drawing, but I'd probably better. I get templates in Keynote. That's pretty cool. I'd like to see some of those. Pages, I never use Pages. I just don't. Keynote, yes. Keynote's very cool. And I use numbers for budgeting and stuff. So I meant starting when the new system kicks in. Yeah. I don't see, they're not going to take it off. They have it for sale now. I don't think they're going to take it off. I'm pretty sure you can still buy Motion and still buy Compressor, yes. And it's interesting. I'm fine with subscription. My only concern is why Apple bundles Office apps with the Creative app. I prefer my subscription to cover only the Creative app, not the Office ones. Well, but here's the thing. Yeah, I agree. If we could just subscribe to Final Cut Pro, if that's all we wanted for both versions, the iPad and the Mac version for $4.99, that would be pretty cool. And get whatever premium content. And then that money would all be going toward Final Cut Pro. I know what you're saying, but the Office apps with the Creative apps, because they're going to give some premium content with those Office apps. Those Office apps are going to get premium templates, maybe some other premium things. They're going to get premium templates, I think, more than anything. So, yes, those apps are going to remain free. But if you don't subscribe, you're not going to get the premium content. You're not going to get premium templates for those free apps. Final Cut Pro, you can buy it outright. You can buy Motion. You can buy Compressor standalone, but you won't get the premium content. I mean, everybody try that 30-day trial and see what you think. If the premium content is really premium, I'll subscribe just for that. Okay, I'll subscribe just for that. I'm not very confident about this announcement. It starts with the update, and then there's a feature that's exclusive to Final Cut Pro for the iPad. There's always been features that's been exclusive to the iPad, and there's features that's on the Mac version that the iPad doesn't have. From the very beginning, nothing to do with this announcement. For example, the iPad, you can write on the screen. You can write a title on the screen. You can't do that on the Mac version. iPad has the Mac Studio multicam switching and stuff. You can't do that on the Mac version. The Mac version is more powerful. Okay? So from the beginning, there's always been features on the iPad version versus the Mac version that are exclusive to one or the other. It has nothing to do with this subscription. Richard, I've seen a documentary on YouTube lately, much worse. Some cars start to sell at a high price, but with many options available under subscription only. Right. I've seen that with the cars. You have to subscribe to get this. And you have to subscribe to get that. And we can shut your car off. And we can. What a bunch of nonsense. No, I saw that too. When is the summit? We don't know yet. And we're not going to know until after January the 28th, until let's see how smooth this January the 28th rollout is, and then we'll hear about the summit, I'm sure. But the later we hear, I mean, they're going to have to at least give us minimum of 60 days, but more like 90 days or longer, so people can make arrangements to go to the summit. So I'm thinking now, January 28th for Final Cut Pro 12. That means we're not going to see the summit in February. We're probably not going to see it in March. The earliest we would see the summit would be April, but it could be before NAB or after NAB, but I'm thinking more likely it's going to be May. It could even go into June, even though we have WWDC in June. It still could go up to Final Cut Pro's birthday, because technically that's still spring, or they could say, hey, we're going to miss spring, we're going to get it over here. So I'm thinking now it may be May that we're going to see the summit. And there'll be something new to show us at the summit. They're not just going to rehash Final Cut Pro 12 from January 28th. Marquis Brownlee podcast made a good point. Who is using all these apps? Average person is like using one or two of them. Right. But they're not going to have this subscription and that subscription and that subscription and that subscription. Here's the other thing about this subscription. There's no guarantee they're not going to raise the price on that subscription because Apple has raised the price on every one of their subscriptions. Apple TV's gone up from something. Now it's $12.99 a month. So that subscription price right now is a pretty good deal, at least for the first year or so, but it certainly can go up. That's going to be aggravating. So am I 100% in on subscriptions? Absolutely not. Let's all, whoever wants to, try the 30-day free trial. Let's try the 30-day free trial, see how we like it. Let's see what that premium content is. Let's try out the new features in Final Cut Pro 12. January the 28th, we're going to get Final Cut Pro 12, and we're going to get an explosion of people doing tutorials on the 3 or 4 features of Final Cut Pro 12. Explosion. There'll be a dozen people doing exactly the same tutorials on this, not the same tutorials, but everybody has their own spin on things, but they'll be covering exactly the same features for the most part. Now, my go-to is, of course, Ripple Training. I like Ripple Training a lot, so I'll look at what Steve and Mark have to show first. They're my favorites, and then there's some other ones that I like, so I'll try them. But after a while, it gets like, oh, we already saw this, or I already saw that, but there'll be an explosion of tutorials that day on the 28th, along with Final Cut Pro. So back to your point, Matthew, average person using like 1 or 2 of them. Well, for the most part, we got 13 thumbs up already. We only went on for a half hour. It's fantastic. For the most part, that's absolutely correct. Who's going to use all of those apps? I'll use Keynote. I use it now. I'll use Pixelmator Pro. I use it all the time. I use Numbers for budgeting and stuff. I use that. I don't use Pages at all. I just don't like it. Maybe some of the templates will be fine. I just don't use it. I use Notes for text and stuff, and it keeps them all organized. I don't use Compressor that much. I don't use Motion that much. I use Logic Pro a lot. I use Final Cut Pro a lot. Final Cut Pro every day. I'm always opening Final Cut Pro. Logic Pro, when I'm doing a podcast, some audio stuff or musical stuff, I use Logic Pro. So I use about 70, 80% of those apps. Let's see what the premium content is. That's the only thing I can think of. But any sense of transcript search and whether you actually see a transcript? Has anybody explained why not go all the way with text-based editing? Well, they're not going to tell you that. That's probably in development, though, I presume. So transcript search, I presume, this is what I presume. I presume you're going to be able to transcribe your clips on import automatically, the same way you can do color now and you can do audio now. You can check a box that says transcribe, search transcripts. So you transcribe clips on import. I'll probably do that for anything speech related, dialogue related. I certainly will do that. If I'm doing a live video of whatever, it's not dialogue related, no, I won't do that. But I presume you can do it on import. So by the time you get done importing this stuff, a lot of this stuff is going to be transcribed for you already. Then you can search. And you can search the transcript, click on that section. I presume it's going to go to that section of the video in the browser, and then you can just drop it in the timeline. I presume that's how it's going to work. It's only honest that they charge if development will be continues for frequently. I understand, but there's also going to be development for motion for Compressor, for Logic, Final Cut on the iPad, for Pixelmator Pro. Those are the main ones, and also for the other apps too. So it's not all the money is not going to Final Cut Pro. You know, a portion. Future Richard Taylor switches to iMovie after Apple makes Final Cut Pro subscription model only. Sells at Strat, begins beat poetry career. That's very, very funny. No, I'm not going to be. If they lock in this subscription price for 5 years, that's cool. If they at some point, I mean, the thing is, we're here for Final Cut Pro for the most part. I always own Final Cut Pro. I'm not owning it. I have a, whatever that technical term is. I have a standalone version of it. I have Final Cut Pro 10.0 from 15 years ago, and it still works. Okay? People saying, oh, it's not going to stop working. It's not going to stop working. At some point in the future, maybe all software is subscription-based. Okay? I'm not worried about 5 years from now. I'm not worried about 3 years from now. Right now, January the 28th, let's see what we get with 12. And I would say for the next year or so, we're probably safe with the standalone version, if that's what you want. And I understand some people don't want to pay that monthly fee. I completely understand that. But you can try it out for free. You can buy it for 1 month if you want, for $12.99 for 1 month, and then to unsubscribe. That's completely reasonable. I do that with Netflix, I do that with Apple TV, and I do that with all the TV things. I never subscribe month after month after month anymore. I used to do Netflix, but I don't anymore. Apple TV at one point was like $7.99 a month. That's not bad. No, it's now $12.99 a month. Although I got it for 6 months for $5.99. They had a special at Christmas, so that's very funny. I may be wrong, but I say 5 years from now, it will be subscription only. No way to keep updating two separate apps. You can see what you bought. I know everybody has, this is why we're doing this, everybody has an opinion, and I've seen that opinion a lot, that I know it's going to be go subscription only. I really, first off, I can't control whether it does. Nobody can. That doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me. At some point in the future, maybe all software is subscription only, except for some free apps that are there. That doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about 5 years down the road. I'm not worried about that. Let's get by 1 year at a time. So right now we got Final Cut Pro 12. Listen, this is 15 years of free updates for an app we paid $2.99 for 15 years ago. 15 years of free updates. Do you appreciate that Apple's done that all this time? Can you appreciate that? I can. I can. I think most of us would not mind paying Apple for Final Cut Pro Standalone. Just do if there's a major update, giving them $99 or $100 for that update without subscribing. But I'm not worried about 5 years down the road. I'm not worried about that. Who the heck knows? I mean, I didn't worry about 5 years down the road 5 years ago. People have been saying it's the death of Final Cut Pro since Final Cut Pro 10 came out in 2011. How many times have I heard that? Hundreds of times. I just don't pay attention to that. I can't. I mean, who the heck knows? Who in the heck knows where Macintoshes will be 5 years from now? iPads. Nice jacket. Thank you very much. It's a Levi's, of course. You know what I like about this jacket? I got 6 pockets. 2 pockets, 3 pockets, 4 pockets, 5 pockets, 6 pockets. I love pockets. That's why I wear jackets all the time. I like having pockets to put stuff in. My wallet in here, my cell phone in here, something else over here, a little mini tripod in one or the other. okay, do you think now that Final Cut is a subscription option, that we get more features more rapidly to try to add value? No, I don't think that the subscription is going to advance the development pace of Final Cut Pro. I don't know that, but okay, let's see. It's not going to slow it down any, but if it slowed down, if the Final Cut Pro development pace slowed down, it would be going in reverse. So it's going to maybe increase. I would say, let's say this. I think it's going to increase. Is it going to catch up to DaVinci Resolve? No, it's not going to catch up to DaVinci Resolve. I can't see that happening. And remember, the money's not all going to Final Cut Pro. The subscription money is being, I'm sure, divided up mostly to Final Cut. I think Final Cut's getting more than Motion is. I think Final Cut's getting a lot more than Compressor is. It's getting more than Logic Pro probably, but Logic Pro is probably right up there. And then Keynote and the other ones, I don't know if the development of those is going to change. I think you're going to get premium templates. Look, one more thumbs up and we got 20 thumbs up. Fantastic. One more. Somebody give one more thumbs up. There we go. 20 thumbs up. Fantastic. You guys are the best. Okay, I'm with you. There you go. I rolled back my Apple One subscription from 1 terabyte to iCloud to 200 gigabyte. I have 200 gigabytes. It's like $3 a month. That's what I do. That's what I have all along. I didn't need, wow, we got 24 thumbs up already. That's fantastic. You are the best. I have no issue if they want to change the subscription. They just need to rapidly increase features if I'm committing to something. No more of it. It just works. Oh, and I understand it. So here's the thing people keep saying. I don't mind a subscription if they get a better development pace for Final Cut Pro. The subscription is not going to hurt the development pace. But I don't think they're going to catch up to DaVinci Resolve. I don't think the subscription is going to say, we're going to go catch up to DaVinci Resolve. I don't see that happening. I guess that's what I'm saying. We got no option. Subscription has become the new normal as long as it doesn't go to Adobe prices and difficulties unsubscribing. People tell me that it's just a horror story trying to get out of an Adobe subscription. You have to do it like within 24 hours of the expiration, or if you go over or under, they want to charge you this way, or if you go over, they're going to charge you for another year. It's just a nightmare. A nightmare. Yeah, here's the thing. So Weather Network subscription jumped from $3.99 to $9.99, so I stopped the subscription, go back to Apple Weather app. If the subscriptions get too high, people won't subscribe. But I think we're good for $12.99 for a year or two. Or if you go yearly, it's only $10 a month. And listen, I'm not going to say I'm 100% behind subscriptions, because I'm not. I'm in the middle. I mean, I have my standalone version. I'm going to try the trial and see if it's worth it to me. This announcement is a bit premature. They're not ready with AI. Well, I don't think the announcement was only about AI. I really hope they add the ability to read a transcript like a Word doc. I 100% agree. But maybe our friends over there at Intelligent Assistance will jump in there and take whatever information they have and convert it into a PDF or a doc until Apple gets around to it. I agree with you. No, absolutely. DaVinci Resolve, you can transcribe a clip, you can transcribe a project, either one. And you can export a text file. Time-stamped text file. So there's no reason why Final Cut Pro can't do it at some point. Motion hasn't got many updates along the way. I remember one feature it got was an overshoot behavior. Plumb pitiful. I use Motion you add features to third-party plugins. So motion's in the back seat. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They just changed from 5 to 6. They just changed from 5 to 6. So with this new update, whatever the update's going to be. Absolutely. Wow, we're almost at 30 thumbs up at this point. One more thumbs up and we got 30 thumbs up. That's fantastic. You are the best. Creators solo guy are likely to do the pages, text creation, counting, presentation, etc. I use numbers for accounting, and I use 31. Fantastic. 31, 32. Thumbs up now. You people are the best. So I use pages. I mean, I don't use pages. I use numbers. I use Pixelmator Pro all the time. I use, what's the other one? Oh, Keynote. I use Keynote quite a bit. So if transcript search makes it possible to automatically cut out pauses, I want them gone. I will be very happy. Even though my videos are less than 10 minutes, I still spend time cutting away pause. So here's the way you do it in, yeah, I understand cutting out pauses would be great. Here's the way you do it in, I do it in DaVinci Resolve. I transcribe a clip. I open up an empty project. I start going through the text, make a selection, drop it in the timeline. Keep going, make another selection, drop it in the timeline. Keep going, make another selection and drop it in the timeline. That's how I do text-based editing as a bulk. It's as a rough cut. I just take the clips out of the transcript and drop them into a timeline. That doesn't get rid of all the pauses, but it gets rid of a lot of them. Daniel, the National Weather Service provides a forecast free of charge. Absolutely. Another direct opening for DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is a fantastic NLE. DaVinci Resolve is a fantastic NLE. If I went anywhere from Final Cut Pro, it would be to DaVinci Resolve, which I already have. I've already paid for the studio version. They said that they're going to probably charge for an update to DaVinci Resolve. It would not surprise me when they go to DaVinci Resolve 21 at NAB that this is a paid upgrade. $99, $50, whatever, $99 say for if you have the studio version and you want to get 21. They said it's probably going to be charging for an upgrade at some point. That's a direct quote from last NAB. They didn't say maybe, they said probably. So this NAB, when we see DaVinci 21, it might be a paid update, and I have no problem with that. No problem whatsoever. I want to continue to support development of DaVinci Resolve. With Apple, Avid, Adobe, partially or fully subscription, let that Blackmagic design be only no subscription from now. You're not going to see a subscription with Blackmagic design. Grant Petty has said he doesn't like subscription and he's not going to do subscriptions. Once again, whether that changes or not, we don't know, but that's what he said in the past. He does not like subscriptions. We don't either. Let us pay for an update, major update, because Blackmagic Design, when they do an update to Resolve, it's major. It is major, and they keep doing updates. So if DaVinci Resolve is a paid upgrade, no problem paying $100 or whatever the heck it is. No problem whatsoever. Here's one of the things. If I do go to NAB, one of the things I want to do is talk to Grant Petty again. I got to interview him in 2024. Interview him. I met him on the show floor and said, hey, can we get a selfie? And he said yes. But I don't do photographs. I just record 4K video. That's how I get my selfies. So I held the camera out there and we just started chatting, and I'm recording the whole time, and we can both see us because I have the camera facing us. So I'll try to do that again. If transcript search does provide a transcript that you can copy paste it, it makes ENG production much easier, especially pull out SOTs when doing a script. Absolutely. It just doesn't make any sense not to provide that feature. I mean, that's absolutely, you should be able to do a copy and paste. Jumper, the plugin by our friend Chris Hawking that instantly pulls relevant clips from visual or spoken content, will likely become obsolete. Yeah, there's visual search too, but I don't think Chris developed Jumper. I think some other company did. He may be involved with it. I don't think that's a native Chris Hawking app. I thought somebody else did. Maybe he did, but I thought somebody else developed Jumper. Let's live in the moment. Apple is doing a great job with Final Cut Pro. I'm currently editing a voiceover in Logic Pro. Very, very cool. Logic Pro is a great app. Logic Pro is a great app. So $12 a month split across 10 apps means only $120 goes to Final Cut Pro. Now imagine how many people are subscribing every month. With that kind of scale, I expect faster feature updates for Final Cut Pro. No, I don't think so. I think $12 a month is not going to be split equally. I don't think that Final Cut Pro's share and Page's share of that subscription are going to be the same. I think Page's is probably going to get 10 cents. Final Cut Pro will get a lot more. It'll be proportionate. Same with Motion. I don't think Motion's going to get anything close to what Final Cut Pro is going to get as far as a share of that subscription. I think it's going to be based on 5 or 6 million people that are using Final Cut Pro. I think Final Cut Pro will get the lion's share, but not 50%. I doubt it. Maybe 30%, 40%. Who the heck knows? But I think Final Cut Pro will get the most of it. Is there a Cupertino Summit? There should be an announcement after Final Cut Pro launches. Yes, it's still scheduled. Nobody said anything other than that. So let me just take this down. Let me just take this down. No date yet, but we should be getting a date soon. Pulling SOTs, not pulls. Gotcha. I'm kind of surprised. If all these 4 are going subscription, only do you expect the free option Source NLE will get a boom for those who say no to subscriptions? Well, you can do a free version of DaVinci Resolve. Or if you already have Final Cut, you keep using Final Cut. You keep using Final Cut. Right? Absolutely. Thank you, Roz, from Inspire Video. Yeah, like and subscribe. Keep on hitting that subscribe button. And definitely the old thumbs up. We got 36 thumbs up. That's probably a record. It's probably a record. That's a lot of thumbs up. I've been on here. This is the 3rd time this week. Let me just pull that over here. 36. Oh, we got 10 out of Facebook. Fantastic. 36 thumbs up total at this point. 29 from YouTube and 10 from Facebook. I have no idea what X does. Like and subscribe, guys. Absolutely. Like and subscribe. I meant selecting SOTs, not yes. If you use the 200 gigabyte iCloud option, how do you store your data? I noticed that 200 filled very fast, so using NAS additionally. No, I have multiple RAIDs. I have a 56 terabyte RAID 5. I store stuff on that. I have 2 smaller RAIDs. I have all kinds of hard drives, and I have an LTO9 backup system. So anything important gets backed up to LTO9 tapes. So no, I don't use I use the cloud for basic stuff. I don't put videos and photos up there. It fills up too fast. It's like Pixelmator documents. they get saved up there. Numbers documents, keynotes, just basic stuff. Text documents. I don't store video or photos up there. That's a good point. I don't put video work on iCloud, just files I want access to on my phone. That's a good point. Apple did not need to work on two different versions of the apps. They have as standalone apps, as the only differences will be the icons to the premium content for subscribers. At this point, yes, that's correct. And so here's one of the questions. Let me just get to one of the questions. There's two questions we had last week, and I got answers to both of them. The first one is, if you have both the subscription and the standalone version of Final Cut Pro, can you use the premium content in the subscription version of Final Cut Pro with the standalone version? The answer is no, you cannot. I didn't think you would be able to, but I got confirmation. In order to use premium content, you have to be using the subscription version of Final Cut Pro. So they have that content somehow locked into that subscription model. So that's one of the things I found out. The libraries from the subscription to the standalone are completely interchangeable. But if you open up a subscription library in the standalone version of Final Cut Pro, any premium content, there'll be a placeholder for it, but it won't be active. It won't be active. It might say you have to subscribe or Red X or something. But it's not going to mess up your edit per se. It's not going to delete it and yet it changes everything. But in order to use premium content, you have to be using the subscription version of Final Cut Pro. That's one of the questions. This is what we got today in my backyard. It is beautiful out there. We're not supposed to get that much, just, I don't know, 3 inches, maybe 4 inches, just enough to be aggravating. It's sad that some of the cool features are not available for non-English customers. I mean, that's just initially, I presume? I don't think that's going to be ongoing. I think they'll spread them out once they get, I mean, they have to get the United States first, maybe Canada. I think that'll be coming. I don't think they're going to, that wouldn't make sense. Video killed the radio star. Well, it didn't really, but I know that song. Will AI kill the video star? I don't think so. I think AI is going to help. And I hope that not too many features will be locked behind the subscription. It would be sad if you had fortune subscription. 0 features are going to be locked behind a subscription. 0 features. The only thing that's going to be on the subscription is premium content. No features. The 2 versions of Final Cut Pro have feature parity. Every feature in the subscription is going to be available in the standalone. Not premium content, but all 100%, they're going to be feature for feature in both versions. 0 features are going to be locked behind the subscription. Thanks for your dedication to cover Final Cut Pro Weekly. And thanks to all of you for coming here as well. You know, so let me pull up this other video in case you didn't see it. Let me see. Where is my video? I think this is it. Okay, so I made this video just quickly. Let me play it. Let me turn myself off here. Let's do that. And let me turn this off. Let me play this. We're talking about the Apple Creator Studio, and Final Cut Pro 12 was announced. I'm online and I'm seeing all these people making comments about this and about that, and I've got some clarification about what's going on with Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro 12 is coming out in 2 weeks, and the ProApps product marketing team have answered questions about the Apple Creator Studio versus the standalone version of Final Cut Pro. Officially, publicly, it's all good news for people who have the standalone version of Final Cut Pro. 100% feature parity between these two. The subscription is going to have some more content. That's going to be premium titles, maybe some premium transitions, etc., etc. The new features coming with the subscription are also coming to the standalone version. Apple considers us their loyal customers. Loyal customers. Loyal customers. Because of us, that Final Cut Pro has existed for 15 years. That's the important part. Because of us, the loyal customers, Final Cut Pro has existed for 15 years. Now that's what Apple thinks of us, loyal customers. They know we're loyal customers. Do people who use Blackmagic Cloud subscribe to that depending on how much a person is going to use it, like you are paying Ecamm? I think so. Plus, I think you pay more for more storage, and they can also collaborate in the cloud, right? Your projects in Blackmagic. If you think that subscription won't boost us new features, would you think that motion will also receive some love with this subscription model? When I say it won't boost, I'm just saying I think the pace that they develop Final Cut Pro might increase faster development, but I don't think they're holding it back now. I don't think that they intentionally hold back the development of Final Cut Pro because they say, oh, no, we're going to keep this at this pace. No, I don't think that. So the subscription is certainly interesting. It certainly is interesting. We've been looking at that graphic for what, 3 or 4 months or 2 months now on this show? The Creator Studio graphic, we had it, quite a while ago. It's not going to slow the development down. I would say it probably is going to increase it somewhat, but I don't see them catching up to DaVinci Resolve in development pace, if that's what you're talking about. An increase? Yes, I can see an increase happening. Dramatic? I don't think so. I don't think I can see a dramatic increase, but I don't think they're going to stay the same with the subscription model. I would think they would increase it somewhat, but not dramatic. They're not going to race to catch DaVinci Resolve. I can't see that. And yes, motion is not that popular, okay? Final Cut Pro has 5-6 million, maybe more seats. Motion, tens of thousands, perhaps. there's just not that many, there's not that much interest. I mean, people that like it, like it. I like it for a little bit that I get involved, and I'm glad it's there. I like Logic better. I use Logic a lot more, but is it going to, it probably. It's not going to get less. I mean, it can't get any less. It just went from 5 to 6. If you had to choose, which would you attend, NAB or the Creative Summit? Well, I might be going to both, but absolutely the Creative Summit. Hands down, the Creative Summit. I'm all about Final Cut Pro. The only reason I started going to NAB was because of Final Cut Pro, because Apple was doing sessions at NAB. The Apple Final Cut Pro Apps team was doing sessions at NAB for the public, packed houses. 2017, 2018, 2019, the Final Cut Pro team was on the Faster Together stage. Then we had the FCPX Guru Gathering. Steve Martin was putting that on. That was a cool thing. We had Super Meets, which always had a Final Cut Pro component to it. The only reason I went to NAB originally was Final Cut Pro. Last year, there was nothing drawing me there. There was nothing. I don't care about the products. I can see them online. Meeting people in person, yes, but I want to meet Final Cut Pro people at the Super Meet or at a FCPX Guru Gathering or a Final Cut Pro presentation. The only reason I go to NAB is Final Cut Pro. Since there's a Final Cut Pro dedicated track this time at NAB, we'll have to see how that plays out. And the other thing is a Future Media Conference has this cool party on Sunday nights, which is hundreds of people are there. So that's pretty cool to go to as well. So the Creative Summit for sure, but I might go to both this year, which I've done in the past, but not last year. I read that in the end, there could be a Final Cut Pro Lite without subscription, and the full Pro is behind the subscription. To the version behind the subscription will only be for daily users of Final Cut Pro. Yeah, I can't see that. I can't see a Final Cut Pro Lite. That's iMovie. We already have that. After 15 years, they're going to do a Lite version? I don't think so. I think what's going to happen is they're going to do this. The standalone version is going to be updated the same as the subscription version for a year, 2 years, maybe longer, preferably longer. But they make the subscription powerful with premium content, premium titles, premium templates, premium whatever they're going to do. Not features. I think the feature parity thing will remain for the foreseeable future. And like I said, at some point, is all software going to be subscription-based? Now, if they were charging $25 a month for that subscription, no, I'm not interested in that at all. $12, $12.99, it's $10 if you get a yearly subscription. As far as subscriptions go, that's certainly reasonable for all the apps, but I'm still in the middle on this. I'm not really, if I had to choose, I don't know, I'm not going to have to choose. I don't have to choose. So I'm going to take that off the table. How many devices will we be able to use Final Cut Pro, whether we opt for purchase or subscription? I think you can use the family plan. You can use multiple versions on different devices with the standalone, I think. The subscription, I don't know. The subscription, whatever you open the subscription on, whatever device you open the subscription on, I would think that would be the device you're going to be using. You can't open up probably two at the same time. You can take your subscription. It's probably tied to your iTunes account, and you can take that whatever device you want, open up, and use it on that device. But I don't think you can. I'm going to presume that you cannot open up two versions of the subscriptions on two different devices at the same time. Which brings us to another point. One of the questions we had last week, do you need an internet connection in order to use Final Cut Pro, the subscription? You do not. You do not need an internet connection besides initially signing up, besides updating it, something like that. All the AI stuff is on device. It's not based in the cloud, and you have to connect to the cloud. Now, you probably have to be logged into your iTunes account on whatever device you're using, because that's where it's going to be managed, I presume. But you don't need to be, you can edit on a beach somewhere with the subscription version once you're signed up and updated and stuff. You do not need an internet connection. That's the second question that was asked, and I was told, no, you do not. So, if you have any more questions, shout them out to me, and I'll see if I can answer them for next week. So if you don't use iCloud for photos, what is your recommendation for photos? Well, see, I store everything on a RAID. I have RAID 5s, a 56 terabyte RAID 5, and I have LTO tape for backup, and I have 8 terabyte drives. I have 40 or 50 8 terabyte drives. I got LTO tapes over here, a bunch, and they hold 18 gigabytes each, uncompressed. And then I got a 56 terabyte RAID. So I kind of store everything here. That's it. Backblaze. I have online, off in the cloud, I use Backblaze, $100 a year, unlimited storage. Unlimited storage. I have the 56 terabyte RAID backed up in Backblaze. Now, you can't look at your photos and stuff like you can in iCloud, but you can transfer stuff in and out of that iCloud. It's pretty easy. Take things, and then if you need to see this batch of photos, put them in iCloud. When you're done, take them out. I just don't, my videos are all 4K, and sometimes I'm shooting 60 frames per second. So, and now I shoot with the iPhone 17 ProRes RAW, OpenGate, big, humongous files. There's no way I can store them in iCloud. I just don't. I mean, I don't know if somebody might have another idea for photographs. Oh, back up your version of Final Cut Pro. 11.2, back it up, back it up, back it up. You have a little less than 2 weeks before 12 comes out. Back up any special projects that you have. Libraries. Follow Richard, do you keep a backup that way, or do you protect yourself? But reminder, any work done under subscription may be lost when you quit premium content, by example, Apple. Any work is not going to be, let's put that up there again. No, the work's going to be fine. You protect yourself, but remember, any work done under subscription may be lost. No, the work is not going to be lost. All of your edits are going to remain. That's not going to be lost. Only premium content, I'm going to presume there's going to be a space holder. If you unsubscribe, any premium content that you use, suppose you had premium titles. Those titles, there's going to be probably a placeholder for them, but the work you've done is not going to become not available. No, because you have the standalone version. If you don't have the standalone version, yeah, you have to do either subscription or standalone. If the subscription model would stay at $12.99, it's interesting for many people, but I assume the price will raise. So unfortunately, based on Apple's subscription past, yes, it will rise, but hopefully not for 2 or 3 or 4 years. At least give us 2 years at that price. Don't start raising it next year. I mean, Apple TV went from something $7.99, now it's at $13.99. They went up twice. They were $10.99, now $13.99, or $12.99, I mean. So I hope it stays at least for 2 or 3 years. The content edition is nearly important to me, probably to most of us, than is the feature editions, hoping those aren't too tied too closely to the subscription. feature parity. Feature parity between subscription and standalone. There's no features available behind a subscription wall. Only premium content. That's what they've told me so far. That's what I'm going to hold them to that. Now, whether that's the case a year or 2 years from now, I'm not worried about that. I don't worry about, oh my God, my software is not going to be, in 2 years from now, I'm going to have this problem. No, I don't. Let's just get through Final Cut Pro 12 right now. We'll deal with that then. You can always subscribe for a month. If you have work to do, subscribe for a month, get your whatever the premium content is. Features, no. There's no indication that there's going to be premium features that aren't going to be available in the standalone version. Will that change in a year or 2 years? I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to worry about over a year into the future. Let's just get through the launch of Final Cut Pro 12. And do I care? I don't want that to happen. Of course not. Am I going to worry about it? No. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. A year from now, 2 years from now, let's just get through the first launch. That's our friend Ben. Richard, sorry, how's everything going this morning? It's going great, Ben. I got 38 thumbs up. I didn't see yours there yet, though. 38 thumbs up. We're here, a lot of people watching. AI is locked to subscription, right? If you're talking about ChatGPT, probably. If you're talking about AI features, no. AI features, text search, that's an AI feature. No, that's going to be available on both versions. It's on device. That AI the feature AI is on device. You don't have to be going to the cloud. ChatGPT, I don't know. That might be locked behind. There he goes. Ben just gave me a thumbs up. So, is AI locked to subscription? No, it's not. Not AI features. Not AI features. Text-based transcript search, visual search are both AI. They are not locked to subscription. It's going to be available on this version of it, and it's going to be available on this version of it. Okay? So features are not locked behind a subscription. Content, fancy titles, premium titles, whatever else is premium, not features, but premium content, maybe story blocks or something like that, that's going to require subscription. That's a good point. Sure would have been nice if Apple in this new subscription scheme allows us to buy Final Cut on the iPad outright. Would you? Well, yeah. I've been fighting for that all along. Premium content is, they're going to have premium titles, for example. They're going to have premium titles that are not, they might be third-party titles. I don't know. So premium content are going to be like titles. That's one of the examples. It's going to be templates, okay, for Keynote. Keynote's going to have templates. Pages is going to have templates. Maybe Numbers, premium templates. That's premium content. As far as Final Cut Pro goes, maybe there's going to be a premium sound library that you're not going to have access to unless you subscribe. Maybe there's going to be a premium place to get video clips that you're not going to have access to unless you subscribe. That's premium content. No premium features are being withheld from the standalone version. I got 100% confirmation on that. No premium features are going to be withheld from one version to the other. That means AI features. That means transcript search. That means visual search. That means beat detection. Those are all going to be available on the standalone version. Those are all AI features. Okay? No features at this point. I'm not worried about the future. I'm not worried about oh my God, is that going to happen 2 years from now? I don't care. I'll deal with that as we get used to things. There aren't any radio plays on the radio like there used to be. In that sense, the radio star is killed by video. I listen to music a lot more than I watch music videos. So I don't agree with that. I don't have to watch a video to enjoy music. As a matter of fact, the vast majority, when I'm out running and I'm out walking, it's audio. Whether you podcast, video, audio is in my ears. I don't have to watch a video. So I don't think that video killed the radio star. The audio is still there. Good evening from Andorra. Where in the heck is Andorra? Where is that? I don't even know. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Richard, just found your channel. Thank you very much. Please subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Just found your channel. I'm a freelance branding designer. So do you want to have a logo for your channel? You have to talk to me offline. I have to see. The art form does still exist on recorded media like Big Finish Catalog. One advantage of the subscription for us is that the standalone app is that we can stay on our current version of the standalone app until the version in the subscription proves updating is safe. Well, that's true. That's very true. Stylized like max headroom. Yeah, I did that. I did that. Instead of just having rich headroom. No. Taylor TV, I'm calling that. When I do short clips and I do that stylized stuttering and stuff, I'm going to call it Taylor TV. But yes, as a film festival organizer, we just got our first all AI generated short submission. Oh boy, here we go. Well, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it in an intelligent way. I'm not that interested in 100% AI generated stuff. As of now, yes, that's what I'm saying. As of now. Knowing how marketing machines usually work, I honestly think this is a Trojan horse right now. They're doing away feature parity to avoid upsetting loyal customers who've been there 15 years. Yes, I understand that, but I don't think it's a Trojan horse necessarily. It would be kind of weird if you pay monthly and only receive new stuff 1-2 times a year. Yeah, I understand that people expect if they subscribe, they want more features faster, and I don't disagree with that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I just don't think that the development pace of Final Cut Pro, I don't think that that's going to be that much difference. But we like for it to be. Final Cut Pro team, by the way, give them a round of applause. We want more features faster. We want you to try to keep up a little better. I think some people are understandably concerned with core feature mission creep into the subversion. That's the concern. Core feature mission creep. Core feature mission creep. You know, the thing about feature creep, I don't, listen, look at DaVinci Resolve. They update so many things. There's a way to do a lot of features, keep up without having issues. You should always do that. Even though I need features, but it's not the priority. I prefer to wait until features are properly developed rather than getting half-baked features. Well, of course, we'd like that. But long term, I'm convinced things will start appearing that are subscription only, maybe not this year, but in a year or two, 3, 4. But I don't care about the future. Right now, feature parity. Feature parity. Everybody thinks that they're going to start appearing as subscription only. Things will start appearing. Things are going to appear on the 28th of January. Premium content, but not features. And if it happens a year or 2 years from now, well, let's deal with it then. I'm not going to worry about it in 2026, something that happens in 2028. That's not the way I worry about the work. That's not the way my mind works. I'm not going to spend time spinning wheels worried about something that may or may not happen because you're basing it on no evidence other than maybe all software is going to be subscription in the future. First, it's content, which most professionals don't really care about. Later will be some AI feature, then another, then little by little, the standalone version will be sidelined. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. I think we're going to be fine for years. I don't know if it'll take 2 years, 5 years, or 10, but I'm sure that's the direction. What they're doing now is only a Trojan horse. I'm not, you're basing that on supposition. You're basing that on no information. And I'm not saying that it might happen, but I'm not going to worry about it. If that's the case, it'll be a subscription, and you'll decide at that point whether you stick with it or you go to DaVinci Resolve. Yeah, I'm not sure that Apple themselves are 100% sure how the market will evolve. Anything can change, absolutely. I get your idea. Was the same thought I had first heard the announcement. A lot of people are saying that, but it's not based on anything factual. It's just based on imagination, supposition. It's not based on anything solid. It's just, I think this is going to happen. This is the way I think it's going to happen. And I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying, why worry about that 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road? You can always make your decisions. Go to Blackmagic if you don't like that. Blackmagic is the safest NLE that's not going to go subscription because Grant Petty doesn't like subscriptions. If you have not seen in black and white directly from Apple, it's a baseless rumor. I use motion. Unfortunately, there's no round tripping. Nonetheless, I hope Apple will continue to develop, continue to add effects, options, and more. I do too. Absolutely. What do your cats do right now? They're probably sleeping, but I have the camera. I have the camera set up back here. Shit. Excuse my French. The camera's in the backyard because we got snow today. The claim Apple will slowly move to 100% subscription eventually. Well, that's based on what date? It's a knee-jerk reaction without evidence. I understand that people think that, but that's not. It's not based on anything other than just you think that's the way it's going to go. All software could be subscription in the future, in which case that's true. Let's keep the price reasonable. Let's deal with it in the future. Not worried about it in 2026. Oh my God, like the Scream. Oh my God, they're going to do all subscription in the year 2030. I can't worry about that now. Let's just go for the next year or so, and we'll ease into it. What about captions? And will the premium come with motion VFX? I don't know what the premium content could be. Third parties, couldn't it? We had Final Cut Pro running on 10 Macs at the TV station at one time, all on the same user account. I understand that used to be, but I don't think the subscription is going to work that way. I don't think we as professionals need pre-built titles. Always had to custom ones because editing the built-in wasn't possible. Will it take the same amount of time to build it yourself? We'll all figure it as it goes, as it does along, right? I agree. I mean, I'm just not going to worry about 2 years and 3 years from now. If it goes all subscription, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We will decide, I will decide, if the subscription was $25 a month, I wouldn't even consider it. I wouldn't even consider it. It's way too much money. $12.99, or if you pay a year, $10 a month, boy, that's pretty darn reasonable. And I'm not a carte blanche approving of this subscription. I'm just saying that's certainly a reasonable price. It's just an educated guess based on experience. But people in 2011 said, oh, this is the end of Final Cut Pro. It's not, they completely messed up. 15 years ago, they said that. They said that, hundreds and hundreds of people have said that. It's still here. So they were wrong. Their educated guesses in 2011 about Final Cut Pro 10 not being a viable professional NLE was wrong. So everybody's got an educated guess. My educated guess is whatever happens, we'll deal with it. That's mine. Why not just one-time app purchase and subscribe to the AI if needed? I don't disagree with that. That would be great. But I mean, do you need the AI features are already in the one-time purchase. AI features are already there. If you're talking about ChatGPT, I don't know how that works. That doesn't really interest me. What experience with Apple specifically? Do you think Apple with Final Cut Pro target creators market and BMD with DaVinci Resolve target high-end? Why that Apple and BMD Blackmagic Design are friends? What about captions, and will the premium come with Motion VFX? It very well could. It very well could. Thank you for the internet connection information. Final Cut Pro uses for ENG if you had to be connected. In news, you're in multiple places daily. Your equipment needs to work anywhere, anytime. Absolutely. Marketing techniques in general. This looks like an A/B testing rollout. Pros will like us will get stuck on the standalone, but will be a good test of the subscription model. I don't disagree that they're trying this out, but look, they've already killed the iPad version of Final Cut. They've already killed the iPad Logic version of the iPad version of Logic Pro standalone. They've already killed that. That came out in May of 2023, and it's gone. You cannot get either one of those anymore. So as they evolve, they'll decide. At some point, maybe they'll have just a standalone version of Final Cut Pro. Or maybe they'll do Final Cut Pro in Motion, or you can pick a la carte which subscriptions you want for a lesser price, maybe. But right now, this is the first. It's $10 a month, 30-some cents a day for the subscription. When you think about it in that terms, it's not too bad. 30-some cents a day. I use Final Cut every day. If I had to put 30 cents in a little meter to use Final Cut every day, that's fine. I could deal with that. But for right now, I don't have to worry about it. I have the standalone. The standalone is 100% feature parity with the subscription. Okay? So that's all I'm worried about right now in 2026. Things will evolve. As they're evolving, Apple doesn't have an ironclad, in 2 years we're going to do this, and in 3 years we're going to do this. They're fluid. They'll listen to feedback from us users. We got 5 or 6 million users. They'll listen to us some, They didn't cut the standalone version off like they did when Final Cut Pro 10 was launched, did they? Preferred in general by the younger generations of content creators will need the pre-made content, but also a strategy to resist not to be completely eaten by DaVinci. Inflation hits everything, not just Apple products. I'm 65, retired TV show producer. I use, what do you use? 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 What do you what you'd consider premium content all the time. Saves a lot of time and headaches. So yes, pros do use templates and stock content every day. That's the other thing. Premium content is probably going to be a stock library, audio, music, video probably. That's going to be some of the premium content. And why wouldn't you pay for that? You'd pay for it outside of Final Cut. You would subscribe. Fingers crossed about plugins compatibility with Final Cut Pro 12. I have quite a few plugins from our Final Cut Pro friends. Yes, that's why you back up your version of Final Cut before you update. Don't just update blindly. I'm going to update to Final Cut Pro 12. No, don't do that. Back up your version of Final Cut Pro 11.2. Back up your Mac OS version that you're running on right now. I do both. Yes, AI features do require Apple Silicon. That's true. Apple is basically doing what Motion VFX did, but in a fair way. Plugins are based on FX plugin Xcode. Developers update them as those frameworks are updated, just like it always has been. Radio's alive and well in 2026. Could someone take a screen recording of a scroll through of the current Final Cut Pro sound effects to compare what the new sound effects library will have? Not on current. Country between France and Spain. By following Richard's advice, you can protect yourself and go back to, if subscription goes the wrong way, just keep the last backup before it gets subscription only to roll back. Look, I got a version. Listen, look. Do you remember this 1-inch thick MacBook Pro? Well, I have Final Cut Pro 7.0.3 that still runs on this, and Final Cut Pro 10.0, and they both still run on this MacBook Pro. I also have a cheese grater Mac Pro downstairs. This thing is like 20 pounds, and it's like 1-inch thick, but both versions are still on here, and both versions still work after all these years. It's like when people said that, oh my God, we can't do FireWire capture anymore. Well, keep your old Mac, keep your old Mac OS, and you're fine. I got a Mac Mini Pro I can capture FireWire on. I have 3 different operating systems that I can boot into. So it works fine. Don't update without preparing yourself. I use pre-made content from time to time also, but especially when doing fast turnaround piece, but I'm talking to big numbers here, not the individual. No, I understand. I mean, none of this stuff is going to be for everybody, but that's what the premium content's going to be. Somebody asked what it was. Apple for the trifecta and make Final Cut Pro version for iPhone. Otherwise, don't ignore iMovie for iPhone. It's been ages since. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Do you think Linux and open source freeware are the future in this subscription world? Well, Blackmagic Design's not going to go subscription according to Grant Petty, so that'll always be available. And plus, aren't there free versions of like CapCut and stuff? I generate a lot of AI content, backgrounds, images, stock stuff, and its work. Takes a lot of time to figure out and get exactly what you want. It ain't as simple as some claim it is, absolutely. I'm trying to get some of these comments. I'm a little backdated on them. Keep old hardware's backup if you can. It's an expensive solution after buying a new computer. I have to run. Thanks tons. Thank you, everybody. We got 39 thumbs up. We need one more for 40, which will be a record, I think. Some thoughts are based on experience and the fact that Apple always likes to make more profit. Who doesn't like to make more profit? Apple is a premium company. It has been since Steve Jobs brought them back. Their profit margin is like 39%. That's not a secret. Of course they like to make more money. Absolutely. But I like to make more money too. That's not a bad thing. They're reasonable. I'm glad the Final Cut Pro team is adding updates and learning more leaning more into AI, but honestly, I'd rather see improvements to core editing tools, better keyframing. Get no argument from me on that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Absolutely. I like the core stuff. When they came out with 3D text, I don't care about 3D text. Give me a scrolling timeline, for God's sake. Better keyframing. If old Final Cut Pro Adobe apps still run after get classified, it's obsolete. We must stay calm, and even the worst case scenario, our systems will still run after all these years. That's correct. It's not based on any evidence, just a guessing, knowing the current trend, and not disagreeing with you that the trend is towards subscriptions, but let's worry about it at that point. We'll come back and revisit. I just had a flashback to my Final Cut TV days and worried about an FCC fine. Careful, Richard. Did I cuss? More Cat Cam Live. I'm not worried right now. Okay, there you go. Then we're in a complete agreement. Hi there from the UK. Always good to see you. So I think Tweaks123, are you a Twin Peaks person? I think that's where I recognize you from. Does premium version come with motion VFX and captions? Premium content, probably titles and stuff. I'm not sure if it's motion VFX. Why does that keep coming up? In ENG video production, most news reporters are now using their cell phones for their internet connection in the field. Very common now, has been for a while. And for filming as well. Back in 2011, I never said Final Cut was going to disappear. Quite the opposite. I was genuinely excited about the new version and started using it the very first day of release. But hundreds and thousands of people did say that. I'm not saying you did, but they did. That's been going in my ear forever. I co-edited the documentary Off the Tracks about that with Brad Olson. So it's 2011. They've made predictions. Oh, it's the death of Final Cut Pro. No, it's not. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. What if there was a premium content aspect of Final Cut Pro that not only allowed Apple to make money, but also store where creators could make money with templates they built as well? Absolutely. It's in my top 100 list to have a store within the effects browser. Final Cut Pro's native graphics titles are so dated, except for the few they added recently. The old ones should be dragged to Apple's trash bin. Embarrassing. That's your opinion. I use some of them sometime. So my son is a student. We're on family plan sharing, so $30. If it has to be a college student, not a grade school. I've seen college students and teachers can get it for $30 a year, $29 a year. So if he's in college, he could get it for $29 and you could use it. Absolutely. I don't know how the subscription goes with family sharing. And I agree the subscription price is very good. It's a straight punch to Adobe's business model. Smart three-way move, in my opinion. Absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, I'm not going to, as you said, we're not going to worry about what's going on 2 years. Let's just say 2 years, 3 years down the road. We'll deal with it as we get there. This is why you back up Final Cut Pro 11.2. Back it up now. Make multiple copies backup so you have it. So if something is not compatible with 12, you can go back to your plugins. But the plugin manufacturers have to update the plugins in order to be compatible with 12. That's the plugins manufacturers, third-party plugins. What would be very wrong would be have the 2019 repeat by killing standalone Final Cut and make it subscription only, unable to open standalone versions. That's correct. Still runs on this. This still runs. Does not equal this still runs. I understand that. Absolutely. But I'm just saying, I got a version of Final Cut Pro that's 15 years old. I can still run it up to a certain point. Obviously, you had to change, but they didn't charge us for 15 years. 15 years of free updates. Tell me another company that's done that. That's what Apple did, Final Cut Pro. No charge in 15 years for standalone. Who else has done that? So, of course they can. Of course. Thanks, Richard Taylor, for keeping us updated with and the care for the community. Wish all the best to you in chat, but for now I have to leave. Thanks so much, Rob Fisher, for tuning in. We appreciate you coming in each week. Absolutely. Thank you very much. I've noticed in YouTube videos, user forums logic users have a different reaction to this than Final Cut Pro users. That is interesting. I wonder what it is. My MacBook Pro M1 will stay on 18.7 for FireWire capture, and my M2 Studio is 20. There you go. I have a Mac Mini Pro, a 2021 MacBook Pro, a 2019 MacBook Pro. I have a cheese grater Mac downstairs in the studio. I have this really old MacBook Pro. Of course, I don't expect that to run forever. Let me switch accounts and give that 40 thumbs up. We're up to 43 right now. There you go, another thumbs up, switching back to my personal account. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I think your bat phone is ringing. It could be important. I think it is too. I use 3D text feature often. You can convert an SVG to font. Very neat workaround. Very cool. It shocks me how many YouTube Final Cut Pro influencers are in a panic shouting the sky is falling. Does that like anybody read anymore? Listen, when these guys do these stupid, goofy icons for their videos and oh my God, I'm quitting Final Cut Pro. I don't even bother watching. It's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. They're acting like teenagers. What if Apple teams up with Motion VFX for premium features? This is what I'm saying. The premium features could very well be third-party companies. When my kids were in high school 5 years ago, they got Apple student discounts all the time, but this new subscription so far just says college students and college teachers. College student is not family, one person only. Apparently not. Just read. Family plans can be shared. Student plans cannot. There you go. There you go. Right, but you could... Is your son going to use Final Cut Pro? If I had a student that was in college in a house and they weren't going to use Final Cut Pro, we've had a, whatever. You figure it out. Okay, the education version is one person only. The non-education version up to 6 family members on the same subscription according to Apple. There you go. Personally, I hope Apple does not partner with Motion VFX. I'm not impressed with their templates. They have like 6. The rest are only variations. Not a Motion VFX fan. I am not either because of the subscription. Plugins created purely with Motion have never been needed updating. These technically are just Motion templates, but anything created with FX plug is always a toss-up. That's from Brett FX, Mr. Brett Williams from Brett FX. He's a manufacturer of plugins, so he knows. Don't forget to download a full Mac OS installer so you can erase and do a clean install if needed. Well, don't erase. Make a new volume and install the Mac OS installer on that. So you can boot into your old Mac OS or the new Mac OS. I have, on this Mac Mini Pro, I have 2 Mac OSs I can boot into. And on my MacBook Pro, I have 3 volumes, different Mac OS versions that I can boot into. The volume will expand and contract as necessary, each volume that you make. Don't erase your entire volume. If you don't, especially you want to back it up. For legacy apps, I have a pre-release prototype fully functional on an eMate 300 1997 laptop. So there's my backup. That's an old one. So will there be a difference between already owning Final Cut Pro versus a subscription? Not features, William. Not in features. The features are going to be the same between the two versions. The subscription is going to have extra premium content, premium titles, access to video clips, access to photos, but not features. The features are going to be the same between the two versions. Brett FX, hello, love your stuff. I do too. Brett FX has a lot of very cool features, plugins. Very cool plugins. I didn't know. Yeah, that's right. Nobody knew that Brett Williams is Brett FX. It's the same guy. I've met him 2 Creative Summits ago, I think, 2023 and 2024. Now, my remark is about if you get any repair, a full clean install. Yes, absolutely. Yes, but back it up. Do a backup of your Mac OS. I do that. I do a backup on my hard drive, on my RAID. I do a backup on my LTO 9 tapes. I've been a Final Cut Pro user for years, and the lot of the new features I hardly ever use. For me, the new stuff is nice to have, but it's not a big deal. The fuss about subscriptions is just hot air. Well, it's not hot air. People have their opinions. That's why we're doing the show. You can voice your opinions, and we want to make sure the Final Cut Pro team, by the way, they do listen, gets to hear them. Thanks, Ben. That's awesome. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good day. I have not had dinner. Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much. And we'll be back here next Saturday. What time is it? We've been on for 2 hours. I think 2 hours is a good time to say we're good. We've had a lot of watchers, listeners, new people. Make sure, everybody, please subscribe down here at the YouTube channel. Thumbs up, all that good stuff. We're growing. And we're here every Saturday. For people that don't know, we're here every Saturday for 1 or 2 hours. This is 2 hours today. We're not done yet, but we're getting close. Last I used Final Cut Pro 7, I had a crash trying to reconnect assets. Also, file dialog windows closing spontaneously, maybe too many files in one directory. Yeah, I mean, Final Cut Pro 7 is not supported for quite a while. I'm not sure what hardware. Michael Wright, thanks for all you do, Richard. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. I think we're ending around our 4th year of these shows on Saturdays. 3rd or 4th year. I'm not sure which. I'll have to go back and look. But we've been here a while. Thank you, everybody. Got to go to work. Video producers' work is never done, but then we hit the deadline and they forced us from our keyboards. Absolutely. Thanks to Final Cut Pro team. Thanks to everybody that watches these live streams. Absolutely. Silicon Macs and backup need special care. They mostly can't easily boot from external. With internal boot dead, don't even do. But I don't boot from them. I just make a something, and I can just reinstall it on a new volume and then boot from that. So I forget what it is. Raymond Parker Photo. Where are you from, Raymond? Raymond Parker Photo. Where are you from? What part of the globe? Oh, we got 45 thumbs up. That is phenomenal. Let me see. I think most of those, 33 are on YouTube. 12 are on Facebook, and I don't know what X has because they're not reported. That's a lot. That is a lot. Canada, absolutely. Very cool. I'm glad you got the chance to tune in. We're here every Saturday. Plus, this week I was here on Tuesday and Wednesday for 2 hours each day talking about this new. The thumbs up from Capital Canines is me, just to add one more. Speaking of adding one more, let me just So let me go over here for a second. Let me go over here for 1 second. I want everybody to know, everybody knows this. So we just started, let me pull this up. I just started a Creator Studio Facebook group, facebook.com/groups, Apple Creator Studio. We already got 120 members in just a matter of like 2 days. So this is going to be about the Creator Studio itself. Let me mute that. Why is that coming through? But it's probably going to be mostly Final Cut Pro stuff. Might be some Logic stuff, but it's going to be about the Creator Studio and, you know, the whole thing. So we've only been, I think I started this 2 days ago. So we already got 119 people over there already. And look, we're on the screen. But I just wanted to put that up there. Apple, so Final Cut Pro, let me pull that up there. I'll pull it up, copy. I'll pull it up on the big screen. Let's do this. Add. There it is. Facebook.com/groups, Apple Creator Studio, as you might expect. So you can join that for right now. It's another group we have. Ben says, thank you, Daniel. 5 more thumbs up. That's great. So Ben says, see y'all later. Have a good day. Maybe I'll go buy some Bread FX stuff. And now before I go to work, very good. I'm out. Have a good weekend. Absolutely. A post to the Facebook group. I just put that up there. Commenting to help the algorithms. Thanks for all you do. Thank you very much, John. We got 48 thumbs up. Fantastic. Very interested to see what 12 will offer us for standalone users. You're going to get transcript search. You're going to get visual search. You're going to get beat detection. Those are the 3 big ticket items, the same as a subscription. Those are in the standalone version. Can't find Facebook group. Here. Apple Creator Studio. Apple Creator Studio. It's right there. It's right there, Ben. It's there somewhere. You didn't join yet. Apple Creator Studio. Not Creative Studio. Apple, spelled out, Creator Studio. No spaces between the words. No spaces between the words. Groups, you got to put groups in there. Apple Creator Studio. I'll put this up here so somebody wants to join. Leave that up there. Yes, hope stability improvements, which have, in my experience, not been up to standards since 11.1 and 2. Okay. Well, make sure you give the Final Cut Pro team a heads up that you're having problems with that, and so we'll see if they can. I'll send you the link, Ben. I'll send you the link. I'll do it right now, as a matter of fact. Let me see. Ben and I chat all the time. Here we go. Let me see if it's in there. There you go. I sent it to you in a message, Ben. I sent it to you in Messenger. Raymond says he's given them feedback using M1 Mac Studio Ultra. Just joined. I'm going to see. Number 120 you should be. Oh, 121. Very good. 2 people just joined. Excellent. It's going to mostly be oops, didn't want to do that. Mostly be Final Cut Pro stuff, but we're going to be a little lenient if they want to do other things as well, but mostly Final Cut Pro. This is going to be Creator Studio, but there's room for other things as well. We'll help whatever we can going forward. Look, we're live on the website. There we are. There we are. All right. Let's check out the backyard one time. We got snow. Probably got a couple inches. Looks nice. All righty, everyone. We're going to leave here now. Don't forget, everybody, subscribe. And take this off. Where do you subscribe? You subscribe right here. YouTube at Richard Taylor TV. You can also buy me a coffee. Buymeacoffee.com, Richard Taylor. No TV for there. What the heck is it? I guess I pressed the printer for some reason. Printed something. Buy me a coffee. We're going to be asking for more help if I go to NAB. Feature requests on Final Cut Pro feedback and subscription to Apple only, even using Tim Cook email, easy to find on Google. Absolutely. All right, everybody. It's printed from 1984. It's an old Epson printer. I mean, Epson's been supporting Macintoshes for years, so I always buy an Epson printer. A fax from Tim. Yeah, it was a fax from Tim. I'm going to try to get to meet Tim Cook one of these days before he retires or whatever the heck he's doing. One of the things about the Creative Summit is we go to the Apple Spaceship campus where Tim's office is. I would love to run into him one time or just have him pop in to the Final Cut Pro group. That would be phenomenal. Final Cut Pro team, see if you can make that happen. One more thumbs up, and we got 50. 50 thumbs up. That's an all-time record. All right? I'm not going to leave till I get one more thumbs up. How about that? That is an all-time record. One more. Here's to you, everybody watching and comes in each week. Oops, 50, sorry. 51. We got it. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. So if I don't come back during the week, you can keep on commenting on this video, by the way. You can comment not just when it's live, but you can comment after the fact. If you have more questions, leave a comment, and I'll see if I can find out the answer. And we'll come back. If not sooner, we'll be back next Saturday as we normally are. Saturday, 10 o'clock. It's been pretty consistent for a while. But if we started our I can't remember, third or fourth year doing these. Our third or fourth year. And give thumbs up to the pre-recorded video. So the pre-recorded video is on my YouTube channel. Yeah, that's on there. That is on there. That was fun to do. I just wanted to make it different than just a... Give me a quick recap of what you covered. The biggest thing is the standalone version of Final Cut Pro and the subscription version of Final Cut Pro have exactly the same features. 100% feature parity. They have exactly the same features. There's no difference in features. The subscription version is going to have premium content that you'll need to subscribe for. But if you subscribe by the year, it's like $10. Let me see what it is. $10.75 a month, and that's like 33 cents, 34 cents a day, something like that. It's not that bad. I'm not a big fan of subscriptions. If they keep it at this price for a couple of years, you'll get a good solid foundation. That's it. So I'm going to try the trial out, 30-day trial, and go from there, whether I subscribe for a year or not. If the trial is worth it, if it has premium content that I like, we'll see. It's good. I'm not subscribing for Final Cut Pro because that's going to be the same. I'm only subscribing if there's enough premium content. I'll try out the Final Cut Junior on the iPad, see how things go. What other premiums? We don't know yet. Maybe premium titles, maybe access to a sound library that you don't have access to, subscription, maybe a video library where you can use videos, stock media library, you can use audio and video, stuff like that. It's premium content. Image Playground Pro. Does Playground and Pro, do those two words go together? Playground to me is kids, grade school kids. But I understand what you're saying, but Playground and Pro, to me, don't go together. Those two words don't go together. But anyway, yeah, something, whatever, it's not going to be a feature. Features are going to be exactly the same. Exactly the same. We're going to be back next Saturday. And unless there's something that happens this week, which I don't think so, I mean, we could get an announcement for the Creative Summit at any point. In that case, I would come back on. If you subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, you'll be notified when I go live. And where's the YouTube channel? It's right here, Richard Taylor TV. Thanks, everybody. There's lots of other videos there as well on the channel. I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, tuning in. We got 51 thumbs up. It's an all-time record for us. It's great for a live stream. I'm going to go do the rest of my day. I don't think I have to plow. I mean, snow blow, but we'll see. I'll talk to you all later. Thanks for tuning in.